Welcome to the Buzzin Bunch.
Welcome back to the Buzzin Bunch. We are a part of a podcast from Brainwave Media, and on today's episode, we have myself, Fergad as well as Zuri from BMM, and we have other two guests right here.
My name is Achoy Windra. I'm from BMM. I'm also an announcer for Brainwave Media.
And how about you?
Fijar Akbar from SASC.
Yes, and actually, Kafijar is from an SASC, and he has some knowledge regarding about psychology, I guess.
Well, I work here as a counselor as well, aside from a lecture. So yeah, I think perhaps later I will be speaking about that in psychological point of view. I think.
Yes, maybe you can give us some tips or tricks or
Okay,
such.
sure.
And speaking of SASC, we're actually collaborating with them today on this very special episode of regarding tough love relationship with parents. And yeah, pretty much that's it. I think for this premise of this episode, right?
Yeah.
And before we're moving on to the main body of our wonderful podcast, we would like to play Never Have I Ever. So, for in this segment, you guys are free to voice out your opinions
Okay.
and contribute to the discussion as well.
Sure.
I'm also going to be participating in this Never Have I Ever.
Alright.
So the first question is, never have I ever answered back during a lecture from our parents.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I think so. My parent is very traditional. In a very strict in a way, and yeah, I used to be having a lot of trouble with them.
Yeah. I think my parents, they raised me respectable, and so I would have to say the same thing to them in a respectable way, respectable manner. And so if I think that there's something wrong, I would just say it normally. And so I don't want any fight to happen from there. Yeah.
For me, I think yeah, there must have been a period where I've talked back during a lecture, because especially when we were younger, I think we were still unwary of our the consequences
Yeah.
and etc. And especially for me, I think I come from again a traditional type of parents. They're very fair, and they're actually, I think they're much more older, I guess, compared to other parents of my peers. So I think their way of thinking is much more, I guess, mature in a way. They've probably known the ins and outs of what we are thinking as a child, or maybe as right now as teenagers. So I think they're very understanding. But in terms of talking back, I think I must have done that. I think we all did, maybe. The second question is, never have I ever feel like you want to move out from home.
I'll start from there. So I've had multiple instances where I wanted to move out. Mostly because of my age. I think for my age, say when I was 18, I saw all my friends moving out, when we went to college and all that. And so, I wanted to live that experience. I saw all these good experiences, and I couldn't because my parents always wanted me to be close to them.
Yeah.
They didn't want me to go far or go to another university out of the state or whatsoever. And other than that, when sometimes I have fights with my parents, I really do want to move out, but no,
Okay.
I can't bear it. Seeing their faces if I do end up doing that.
For me, since I used to be living in boarding school, so I don't think that it should be an issue for me gitu ya. How many years I've been away from my home? I went to I went to boarding school since I was junior high school, and I took my degree as well in that boarding school. So yeah, it's more than 10 years being away from my parents. So yeah.
Maybe for me, I think I don't think maybe when we had our tantrums when we were a small kid. Yeah, of course, I want to move out, but I mean that's all for me. That at least that was fantasy, I guess. But
How about now?
Now maybe now that's why I was gonna move on to that actually. For in terms of now, I think I realized like I guess you would call the advantages of being close to your parents, like living in the same house and not moving out. But indeed, there are some like cases where like, oh, I'm actually content with living by myself because there was a period where my parents weren't at home. They were in an out of town for like a month or two, and actually like felt some sort of freedom. But there are some periods
Yeah,
where
right.
there are some periods where I miss them, because like it just feels very lonely and such. But the more I realize, I think if for the time being, I think I would like to stay with them for some for the foreseeable future.
What do you think would happen when you go to like your streaming major thing?
That I actually don't know because my parents are getting older right now.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, is it? Are you asking like in terms of myself?
Yeah, yourself.
I think I'll. I think I'll experience like some sort of shock factor of living alone because there's freedom is finally within the equation, and I basically can do what I want. But for the like the other aspects like missing them or whatnot, I haven't wrapped my head around that yet.
There will be a separation anxiety phase from both of you, from US, their child, and from your parent as well. So it will be the first your first experience to be away from your parents, right?
You could say that like for a good year, I think. Yeah. Well, I guess we have to see what the future holds, I guess. The third question is, never have I ever went to therapy or rehab due to this matter.
Well, as a counselor, it is normal for a counselor to be seeing another therapist so that we can find out as well, right?
Yeah.
In my case, it is not about relationship with parent, but somehow it is slightly involved. It is more to relationship with my friends. So yeah.
I think for me, I've gone to therapy sessions many times, maybe like 2 times a year, just to put me in check. Am I doing well? Like, is this what I'm doing irrational, or or is it just me that's feeling this? And so I think that's helped me a lot, because sometimes like you feel it by yourself, and you do want to voice your opinions to someone else. If it was just your friends, they would listen, but maybe you want like an outside source to give more insight, and like a proven like psychologist or something like that would have good.
I think like for me, I don't think I've went to this this far maybe in terms of therapy or rehab, but of course I've like talked about it to some of my friends about certain conditions, but I think it depends because of my family. I think my family is like more like towards individualistic, I guess, like they care about their own business rather than gathering together. So but there was this one time I went to therapy. I forgot what the matter was, but I think it was for me, and the therapist asked like certain questions about how is like the time at home with your family and stuff like that. And for me it was very like I was very reluctant to say because I was like scared I might say the wrong things and offend my parents or something like that. So yeah, I think it was very very emotional for me. Is that normal?
Oh, of course, right? Seeing a therapist or counselor, even as a psychologist, it is not something to be embarrassed of. Gitu. Well, we are human beings. Sometimes we need people opinion, constructive opinion, so that we can also generate a problem solving from ourselves. And it is sometimes, I think it is today that we need to break the stigma, saying counselor means that you are crazy or what. It is not. It means that we are strong. We are aware that we have certain condition and we need some help. We need support system. So I think it is normal. I don't see any problem with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the last never have I ever question is never have I ever begged for forgiveness, and because of what?
I think for a level of forgiveness, it depends on how bad the problem was. If I really messed up, then I don't think I would beg, but I would say sorry. You know, I admit to my mistakes, and you know, we go from there. Like what happens later happens later. But if it was just like something too minor, something like that,
small.
I think it wouldn't be too major. I don't think begging would be
Yeah.
too much for me. But what do you think, Kak?
Well, I think it is more to a custom. You know, as a Muslim family, we need to do this custom after
Yes,
every Idul Adha and Idul Kurban. We need to beg forgiveness from our parents. But in terms of more personal level, well, I did many mistakes, but right, well, what you say, it's a depend on the severity of the problem itself. I would like to say just maafin ya mak tadi kayak gini sambil ada atau guys.
Well, yeah, I think for me, I don't know how to say it in English, but I'm a very nggak enakan person. Like,
Okay, so ini a people pleaser. Is that so?
I guess so. Like, yeah, and I'm in terms of my parents, I'm not like too rebellious, so I don't think there's a situation where I really like beg for forgiveness like on a severe scale. But of course, I've done some mistakes in my past, and I've got some, you know, lectures from my parents and such like that. And I think it's pretty normal, especially coming from our background, you know. And yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty normal, but now it depends on how severe, and it depends on what things they do and the severity of it, because some parents are willing to go certain measures in order to sort things right, I guess.
Is it normal to like kiss up to your parents? They know like you did something wrong, so like you're just being nice to them. Like, Ma, do you want something to eat? You know?
Yeah, of course. Well, our parent will see us as a baby, meaning no matter how old we are, no matter how mature we are, but by the end of the day, we are still their babies, right?
Yes.
So I think it is normal if we beg, for forgiveness or try to persuade them so that we can achieve something. Sugarcoating.
They forget about the issue.
Yeah. Mom, I wanna like this, so we pretend to be a more opposite person, right?
All right, I think that concludes for the first segment, and we're gonna move on to segment 2.
Okay.
All right, so we're back for our second segment, which is tough love relationship with parents, and basically we're gonna dive into what is it, right? So the first question that we have on our hands is, what is actually tough love and tough love relationship with parents? As Kafijar, you're the more about the stuff as a counselor, and as well as like some sort of background in psychology. Can you like voice out your opinion on this?
Okay. When we talk about tough love, according to many resources, it can be defined as an expressing our love, our affection in unsentimental way, meaning in a form sometimes very stern, so that the people that we love can be more responsible. They can take the consequences if they done something really bad, something like that. It can be really overlapping, and it is closely related to parenting. The way our parent take care of us, the way they parent us, it is completely related.
You want to say anything?
Sure. I think tough love for me, it's like they want to get their message out, but it's in a way that's more aggressive than usual. You know, like you can't really speak out, just normal talking tone. You have to get angry first to get something they want, and then I guess it's just a form of love.
Okay. So it is more like authoritarian parent.
Yeah.
They they enforce punishment instead of discipline, and they tend to be, valuing more obedience instead of that. We understand the problem. Is that so?
Yes, that is true.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said earlier, it can be really overlapping when it comes to
Yeah.
definitions.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think for me, I think tough love is, yeah, they're trying to uh, get the message out
Mhm.
to what they want, and
Mm.
maybe in certain ways that might not be accepted by others,
Mm.
and it could be, certain measures that are maybe crossing a border or so, or
Mhm.
and such, but it depends on it depends on how the other person accepts it. Maybe the other person accepts it like, oh, this is normal, or maybe another person accepts, oh, this is way too extreme or some or such. And I
Mhm.
think depends on our opinion, like, are they doing this for the better of me, or
Mhm.
why are they doing this? So I think it just depends on, again, our upbringing, and
Mhm.
maybe like how open-minded we are.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, different parents are, they showcase different type of love.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
And
Mm.
I think
yeah.
in terms of tough love relationship with parents, I think for me, um, I think it definitely exists. I don't think there's a place where it doesn't exist,
Mm.
but maybe because it's either that I forget about it, or maybe I'm already like, what's the word? Already like numb from it. Like, maybe I don't think about it anymore because
Mhm.
I've experienced it a lot.
Mm.
Maybe that applies it more to some other people,
Mm.
but for me, I don't I don't really remember the last case of like a glimpse of
Mhm.
tough love in my case. How
Mhm.
about you and your parents?
So far, no. Like as I got older,
Yeah.
like the tough love was basically when I was in my high school phase.
Yeah.
I did a lot of wrong decisions, and like they wanted me to be like the best as I could be. They had a lot of expectations with me too, because I'm the only guy in the family.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I also think sometimes like maybe that's how they were raised before,
Mm.
Yes.
Right, right,
and
right.
that might be why they're putting it to all the kids, not just me.
Mhm.
How about you, Kak?
Well, I don't know. Sending me away to boarding school is the act of love, or this kind of love, tough love, showing, yeah, showcased by them. But for me, well, as long as they have a clear intention, they communicate it well to me, and they evoke these consequences, meaning they give out the consequences if we didn't follow what they say, and yeah, I think that's bottom line, and I think it's okay with it.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think
Mm.
for me, I think what the in any type of relationships, whether it be parents or
Mm.
with others, I think the number one and the things to factor is intention and also communication.
Right,
That's
right, right.
that's from
Mm.
what
Mhm,
I've
mhm,
got.
mhm.
Maybe how about you?
Yeah, right. Sometimes it is not about the matter that we want to deliver, but the way we communicate it,
Yeah.
that really matters. Well, parent will always have a good intention for their kid, right? But then the way they communicate sometimes doesn't could be said as inconsiderate, or they don't take our feeling into consideration. They just want to us to be said. They just want us to be, following what they want.
Yes.
Sometimes in certain cases they just want to be, it is my way and you have to do it and you have to follow my way. And well, it is a type of authoritarian parent.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Do you think that what was it I was trying to say? I actually forgot.
Let's take your time.
Do you think it differs? Say if you have a big family, does it differ on like if it's a male or a female? Like you get more tough love when you're a guy than you're a girl. Do you see those sometimes? Or?
Yes. I don't say it is an unfortunate situation or fortunate situation, but then, well, Indonesia is very still quite hierarchical, right?
Yeah.
So as a man, you need to man up. As a man, you need to be taking more responsible for your family. Even you are perhaps the first or the last or the middle children, but then still there is a tendency among our parents that we need to be masculine. As a man, we need to be masculine. We need to take care of their sibling. We need to take care of our sisters, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think basically like we have to live up to their expectations in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so So the next question is, did your parents actually apply this to you while raising you, and what? Yeah, basically like what kind of tough love do they evoke towards you? Was it in your eyes? Was it good, or was it bad? And or was it maybe like in the middle? And maybe you can share your personal stuff, or maybe like any other stuff from your personal experience from what you heard.
I'll give you the gist of it. So, I grew up in a family of 5. I have 2 sisters older. They had good grades always. They had honor rolls and everything. And when I reached that point where I was in high school, they were basically comparing it to me and saying, "Why aren't you getting honor rolls? Why aren't you getting straight A's or 4.0s all the time?" And then I feel that sometimes from there, like the tough love started, because they set like a standard, and that was from the other sisters, and now they pass it on to me, and from there, a lot of tough love happened. And then, as far as that, I don't think there's a lot of tough love, but sometimes my family had businesses and stuff like that, and so they expected me to be the next in succession. My sisters didn't want any part of it, and so even when I was younger, they already set that standard. Hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. Yeah.
But do you want? The question is, do you want?
Wait, what? Sorry?
Do you want?
Yeah, I do want, but sometimes I just feel like it's too early. So I was at 18 when that happened.
Ah, okay.
And so I don't think I was ready at that time. But yeah, unfortunately, like my dad passed away. And so from there,
hear that, yeah.
thank you. So from there, it just, I'll just do it. So I think that was when I was 19. So I started that, I basically forced myself to do it. Even though it was kind of like too early in the phase, I wanted to do my schoolwork, college work, be with friends, a typical teenager. But I just had to skip that part,
Okay. Well, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I believe you have a lot of support system from your family, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Like my cousins, my family, immediate family, also friends. They also helped out a lot. So, I'm grateful that they're always there for me, even when I didn't want anyone to be with me. And so, I'm appreciative of whatever I have right now. And, the tough love was basically from like the early stages in life for me.
Yeah. Sometime, well, we don't know what happened, right? We don't know what happened in the future. Sometimes it is a good thing that our parents apply this to us, because we should not be the person who always be provided, who always be given this bantal empuk every time we hit the bottom, every time we fell. We need to find and we need to explore every option. We need to be so that with this option, with this exploration, we can be more independent. Well, it can be sad, but well, it happened and it works actually.
I'm grateful for the tough love that they implemented to me since like I was 15, because from there like I started to know the ins and outs of what to do, and so when the tragedy actually happened, like I just went in and that's it. It wasn't nothing new.
I think I probably like in regards to the comparison part. I think I also experienced that because because my other sibling is much more older than me, and she has like a much more established life. So there's like a set standard of what you should live up to, or maybe like even in some cases exceed. And of course there's a great pressure of that as well, because
Right.
in my case, I am the only son in my family, and as well as I have like the burden of continuing my dad's legacy from my dad's family. So there's that pressure of me. So I have to strive to be, the best in a way. And sometimes they do compare me to certain people, and not in terms of like my parents say that to me, but also like other people's, whether it be friends or whatnot. And for me, that kind of infuriates me a little bit, because I don't really like to be compared, because like I'm just trying to do my thing and you're comparing me to someone else. It kind of destroys like my confidence in a way. Like I cannot. Oh damn. I cannot live up to this person or this person, and it kind of second guesses yourself in a way.
Yeah, well, I could understand that when we get compared with others, sometimes it hurts. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, of course, in inferior ourselves. But then, again, sometimes, not sometimes, we could not change our parent. But what we could do is that whether we want to take it personally or not. Gitu. We know our place, we know what we really need to do, and we understand that. The thing that what our parent said to us is perhaps it could be an encouragement for us, but then the way they communicate is not in line with our feeling. So yeah, again, how we perceive that and how do we react to what they did to us.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully for me, I think I'm much more open-minded, so
Right.
I'll take that thing as I'll make it as a motivation for myself, because if I just accept that fact, it won't do anything for me. So I'll just take it motivation, and hopefully, like, in a way, just prove something in the future. God knows what will happen, but we'll just see.
Yes, so sometimes our insecurities come from that comparison. You know, it's like our existence are not valued because of this, and sometimes, not sometimes, by the end of the day, we have to outgrow that. Yeah, well, it can be hurtful, but still.
I mean, yeah, probably there's a lot more to add, but as of right now, I can't really think of other examples of tough love. So maybe there will be another time for us to share, maybe. But in terms of you, Kafijar, from your personal experiences, or is it how does this apply to you?
Okay, in my case, my family values religion very much, meaning that my upbringing, revolved around how to be a pious person, gitu. How to be a good person in terms of religion, in terms of religious value, and how we deal with the community, how we deal with the society. You need to be a good person. And the tough love that I still remember until now is that I know it is a custom or something that should be evoked if you don't do this, especially when it comes to learning how we pray. They often strike me because I was late, just because I didn't want to, just because Ma, it is still subuh, it's still like this hour. I haven't I haven't fully walked, something like that. Yeah, I think all of us have similar, share the common situation, right?
To this day still.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Somewhat,
Do you guys ever get the talk of like you're gonna be like the kepala keluarga, so like you have to step up and be a man, and you know, because you're gonna be taking care of someone's child. If you can't take care of yourself, like what makes you think you could take care of someone else and kids in the future? You know.
Yeah, I think for me, in terms of that talk, like those sensitive talks, I think in my family, I think we probably like, or my family probably talks about it like very abstractly, like not like in your face. Like, so and because in the end, I think about like all those like major stuff. I think in my family, it's more towards like we will realize it ourselves, and like as time goes by, we will realize it by ourselves without my parents needing for them to talk about it. That probably doesn't apply like when it's something like very, very important, but I mean that still can be developed like in my case. So I think for my case, it's more towards like eventually you'll learn. So just in like my parents would be like, I already told you, it's up to you whether you want to listen to it or not. So you'll find out yourself if you don't listen. It's more towards like that.
Oh, okay.
How is that?
Well, for me, I think we come from a different generation, right? Well, in my case now, I was often, thought that I need to get married soon. I'm 30 something. I'm 30 something, and in this age, common people, society always talked to us that it is really good time for you to get married. Well, luckily I still have two siblings who, my sister, I have still two sisters who have not married yet. So I don't know. It is not like a scapegoat for the, not a scapegoat, but then sometimes I could be safe because my parent will always scold them first
I think
instead of
I
me.
think I
Yeah.
understand what you mean.
Yeah.
So, like, all in all, like, with our upbringing so far, if you were to sum it up with like a sentence, would you say it's good, bad, or just in the middle, or because I think for me, I think even though there are some periods where like I kind of like really question like why are they doing this to me. I think what they did to me wasn't too like they didn't cross like a major line, so I think I'm just accepting of that tough love, I guess. So I think in the end for me it was okay, it was good. Like if on a scale of 1 to 10, I think 8 for me at least. How about you guys?
Mine would still be a good, like good 9 or 10.
Okay.
Because like I don't try to bring negativity like into myself or other people.
Yeah.
And so just think positive, like like people get mad in the heat of the moment. So I think sometimes like they just don't mean to say it.
Yeah.
It's like we live with our parents for like a long time, so like how they are when they're nice. You know how they are when they're bad. So unfortunately we got the bad side. So like I forgave that. So so far it's good. Yeah.
Well, same here, around that number. And even I realize now that we, our parent will not always be there for us. We need to learn this, we need to learn that, and we need to be a fully grown person. And when we talk about growth or about our development, we need to see three domain aspect. Social aspect, mental aspect, and physical aspect. And sometimes we are lacking of understanding in terms of these two domains, which is social and mental. And perhaps in some cases, for the good part, tough love is really essential for our upbringing, for our mental and social development. And we did also to realize that word is not that nice. You're right. Sometimes really jahat is sometimes really saddening for us, and we need to be ready. And we would never be able to handle the situation if we were not exposed much earlier in our life. So again, I would like to say it works for some cases.
I think for all of us we're on the same page. I think there are some moments where there are some disagreements and such, but I think we matured enough that we realize that I think what they're doing is having like a good intention. So I think the type of parenting could be said it's pretty okay, right?
Pretty good.
And talking about parenting, we're gonna be moving on to our third segment, which is regarding is it related to this parenting matter? So I think Kafija, you can start with this. I'm gonna ask you a question. So
it's already in segment 3, right?
Yeah. Quick bridge. So is like tough love similar to like is it associated to a certain parenting style?
Yes, I would say yes. The reason is that parenting varies, and according to many sources, it has many types. But the parenting style that I want to explain here are authoritarian authoritative parenting, dismissive parenting, and last one, uninvolved parenting. Well, perhaps later you can jump in in my explanation, or perhaps you can share your opinion about it, or whether you experience this kind of parenting style from your family or from your parent, right? Okay, authoritarian parent, they want to be heard, and they always evoke punishment instead of discipline. They believe that their children should be seen, not should be heard. And they really like obligation. And they are famous for saying this phrase, my way or the highway because I said so. That is very authoritarian, and they don't take their children feeling into consideration. They value this obedience thing. You follow me or not. It is me. I am your parent, and you need to follow me. That's the authoritarian. So any one of you guys experience this kind of?
Thankfully, no. I've never
I
felt
don't
that.
think so. No, I don't think so. So did you just elaborate like it show like glimpse of like types of parenting?
That is the first type.
So is there many more?
Yeah, there are the three parenting styles.
Okay.
The next one is authoritative parenting style, and according to many experts, this kind of parenting is the most suitable for to have a good children. They are quite. They put a lot of effort in maintaining a positive relationship with their children. They, of course, they set limit, they set rules, they evoke these consequences, but they also consider their feeling of children into consideration. So not necessarily angry with you, scold you, but then they elaborate what happened. And well, children who have this kind of parenting style, they tend to be more a responsible adult. They are very self-confident. They are very, comfortable with themselves, and they're able to express their opinion and their thought. That's our authoritative parenting. Yeah. The third one would be dismissive parent. Dismissive parent is like they take off the rule of friendship, meaning I am your friend. But then they of course set some rules, they set some discipline as well. But then they rarely evoke the consequences because they want to be regarded as a cool parent, as a friend parent, something like that. And unluckily, this kind of parenting, they don't, encourage. They don't encourage children to avoid poor decision making. Well, we are now during teenager, we often get into trouble, right? And because of this poor decision making or bad habit, well, they want to help them, but then they quite permissive. The last one would be uninvolved parent. This kind of parent believe that children can learn by themselves without any guidance, without any nurturing, and they don't want to, get really involved into their children development. For me, the most not impossible, what would I like to say, something that I don't agree about this parenting style is that during the development of their children, they are rarely there. Meaning, it is up to you. I only give money to you. I only provide you, so you can do everything by yourself. Or I give this guidance for you. I give this maid or apa sih namanya? The maid for you, someone who can help you out. But then no, I don't want to get involved with you. It is up to you. Something like that. Well, these are parenting styles.
So ultimately, it can be categorized into like 4.
Yeah.
So can we like for the audience maybe can we list what are the types? Sorry, like
Authoritarian, authoritative, dismissive, and uninvolved.
Okay, I see.
Nah, if we relate it to tough love, sometimes it can be in authoritarian parent or in authoritative parent, depending on how they communicate, depending how they intend, depending on how set the rule, boundary, something like that.
I think for me, I think it applies to the second one. I don't. They're not. My parents are not necessarily that strict, where I can't do this, because there are like, for example, if I do some things that are, maybe like not as wise, but they probably done it too in their past, so to some extent they understand what am I doing, so they they don't really like punish me for it. Maybe like they remind me of that. But in terms of the tough love matter, I just remembered like maybe like I've done like a mistake, and the words that probably like hurt me the most is in Indonesian is gimana sih?
Ah, okay.
Like they're asking like a close-ended question which I want to answer, but if I do answer there, it's just not gonna get me nowhere. And so I just end up like surrendering, I guess. So, how about you?
I think in my experience, my parents were authoritative, number
Okay.
two, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, they gave me the boundaries of what I can do.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't like, no, you cannot do this. Okay, you could do this, but like
Yeah.
it has to be within this time frame or something like that. And I totally respect it. And
Yeah.
because like, you know, I'm still young, like I have to follow the rules. Like I'm in their house, so like if I was outside the house, like living alone, I would do whatever I want. But you know, I'm
Yeah.
in their house, so
I agree.
yeah. But I also think part of number three is where my like parents lie as well. Sometimes my mom like says, you know, I could be a friend to you when you need to talk.
Yes.
I could be a parent for you like when you need discipline, and I could always just be here for you like anything you need. You know, and like I appreciate that a lot. Just hearing that from my mom, because like, you know, there's not a lot of people that I see that have that ability to just speak out to their mom or something like that. You know.
Well, you know, authoritative parent also can be a friend to their children, gitu.
Okay.
The timeline between authoritative parent and a dismissive parent is that dismissive parent they give they elaborate some rule, but they rarely evoke the consequences. Sometimes the children could, you know, beg if they are during the timeout or they are being grounded. Dismissive parent, okay lah, child always be child, and children make mistake, and I am okay with it. But then, authoritative parent, they do not see it as a punishment, but as something they need to learn. They need to learn consequences, gitu. Children can always refer to their parent as a friend as well. The bottom line or the spark the difference between these two parenting style more to enforcing the consequences to the children.
Alright, so yeah, I think it's pretty clear to what we.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how about you, Kak? We have
Yeah.
we have related your situation.
Regardless of what, regardless of this kind of type of parenting style, my family evoke two different two parenting style from my dad side and from my mom side. My dad can be really strict, authoritarian parent, but then my mom little bit more to authoritative parent, gitu. Well, my dad passed away a long time ago, but then there are many things that still what is it, membekas gitu.
Lingers.
With you,
Yeah, still stay with me because of that parenting style gitu. I do understand now, but still, well, we outgrow the feeling. We understand that, but still, perhaps still there.
Alright, so actually, there's a question that I don't think it applies to both of us. So I think it applies to you more, Kafija. So, from your experience, do you actually apply these types of parenting styles towards your students?
A good question. Well, in a way, yeah, I would say that I apply this tough love relationship because sometimes when the people that we care is about to, you know, making a very bad decision, there are many things that there are many drastic measures that we need to evoke, gitu, that we need to apply to them, especially when it comes to discipline or when it comes to respecting other students.
I see.
Yeah, sometimes I could be really harsh, and not harsh. What is it? Can be really strict when it comes to. You have to listen to what other people, if they are speaking. You need to learn that someone speaking in front of you. Yeah, I think in a way I think apply this kind of approach.
Okay, so yeah, now we have a question for all of us, I guess. So let's say, imagine that we are switching the dynamic. So does it work otherwise, like in terms of like us giving tough love towards our parents? So does it, if we switch that, does it work, or do you think like?
You want to go first?
I'm kind of confused what to say.
Yeah.
You first forgot.
I think if we switch the dynamic, like, I think it will be very enforced when they are much older. I think when they are, you could say like in the elderly stages, I think it will be very much enforced. It would be very much appropriate in that sense, in my opinion at least. But I think if your parents are still like young, I don't think that would very work, because they're still wary about their surroundings and their parenting. But I think like if we do tough love to our parents, I don't think it will work just yet. Maybe in the future it will. Depends on the situation, I guess.
Well, I do agree with you. The case is more to it is more to health factor. Well, the more they're older, they become really vulnerable to any sickness. My mom now has some issues with she has high pressure, but then she still consume any food triggering that. So us as a family, we need to stick together that this kind of thing you should not eat. This food you should not eat. Like, do you know ikan asin?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my mom still love it. Up until now, we say that we prohibit you to eat this every day. Once a week, it's fine, but every day you could not do that.
I agree. How about you?
I think at the time being, I think giving tough love to your parents right now, it's sort of on the line of nggak tega, gitu. Because like, I don't know, I just don't see myself like maybe being as, I don't know how to say it, but
not appropriate yet.
Yeah.
Maybe, like,
Yeah.
Because I'm still young, they're old, they know a lot of more stuff than I do,
Yeah.
and so like, who's the bigger person here? You know?
It doesn't correlate. It doesn't line up well. Like,
Yeah.
It ruins the dynamic in a way. I
Yeah, and
guess.
so it just doesn't look right in my head. So it's whatever. So like, I'll just keep it the way it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, maybe when like they get older, if they do bad decisions, like like health or whatsoever, then I think we should enforce it more wisely.
Alright. So what then? Segment 4. So segment 4 is called So What Then. This is the last segment of our
Okay.
podcast for today. It was
Alright.
very insightful, but so I think a question it can be more appropriate towards Kaki Jar. As an emerging adult, what do you expect from your family?
Well, we are as human, we cannot read someone's mind, right? So what I expect from my family is that everything should be well communicated in almost everything. And for our family who used to be really that involved in our life, sometimes we need to set boundaries, and I think I expect that my family respect that boundaries as well. I know that will always be a baby for them, but then there are certain things they should not involve. As long as As long as we love them, as long as we respect them, as long as we don't have any problem with them. So yeah, please respect these boundaries.
So maybe we can.
I think we could relate to that. Yeah.
You can relate to that, and maybe we can answer it. Maybe. What do you think?
You want to go
Oh,
first?
sure.
As an emerging adult, like what do you expect from your family?
I guess for the future, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
maybe for the future. Yeah.
I think for the future, I think
I think we are all on the same page. We are emerging adults.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it just depends on the time. You know, like when we're still in school, you know, your boundaries and like all. What was that question again?
As an emerging adult, like where we are now, as where we are, what do you expect from your
Okay.
family? So it can be like like from you towards them or them towards you.
Okay, so for the expectations now,
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, you have to be like I said before, you know, you're under their roof, so you always have to listen and, you know, talk to each other and work together on how something like a problem whatsoever could be resolved. And I guess in the future, you know, once you get older, maybe married, you know, you got to step it back a bit. You know, you can't always do the same things as you did when like I was still a kid. And so I think they should know, like at a certain age point, you should, you know, back it up a bit and then like just let it go, you know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree. All in all, I think from what I expect from my family, I think I still expect the same things that I am expecting right now. So I think it will be very like mundane and classic. So whatever is established today is established for the future. But in the long run, I think my expectation is for me to be able to repay what they've done towards me to them.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think that's like a really
Satisfying.
satisfying and it's one of my main motivations for me at least. Like I really want to repay them for what they did because they did a lot in terms of
Yeah. Right.
in terms of you know, lecturing, you know, mentoring and stuff like that. So I think we all have the same goal of that. And it's
Yeah.
gonna be one day hopefully we can achieve that.
To repay the same things, yeah.
So moving on, so we all know we have glimpses of each other's, you know, parenting styles.
Yep.
And you know, if you were to change some things or a thing about your parents' parenting styles, would it work?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when I just like talk to my mom, like she gasses a bit, you know, like I'm just saying, oh, did you lock the door or something like that? Yeah, I locked the door. So like I just wish like the answers wouldn't be too like harsh, you know, like hey, I'm just trying to talk to you nicely, like you don't have to do that. So like, and I do talk to her about it, you know, to just chill out, you know, and it works sometimes, but it goes back again, you know, the next day, and you know, I'm not too sure. Maybe she's just going through something in that day, you know.
Yeah,
Everyone has moods.
That is something I can relate to because I think there's several cases where I have like I have no bad intentions at all. I have really good intentions that I ask something like very nicely. So like for example, like a simple thing, where's the spoon or something like anything like that, very simple. But my mom accepts it in like a totally different way. I don't know why. Maybe like you said, she's having like a bad mood or something like that. But yeah, I mean, probably that is something that if I were to change, I want to change because some things that I have like good intentions towards, but they, you know, they say it in like an increased tone. It kind of, you know, it's a bit sensitive for me. So, how about you, Pat?
Well, in my age and having an elderly mother, for now, I believe will be experiencing later. You know, it's just we'll always try to do whatever she said. We try to make them, we always try to make them happy, right? But in that age, you will be very compromising. You'll learn to, you know, to shift everything that you have prioritized before to your parents' priority right now. And well, during such age, they sometimes could not understand. But then we need to be the one who have a big heart here,
Yeah.
gitu. And yeah, well, still they are our parent, gitu.
Yes. So, yeah, I think, is there anything you would like to add, maybe?
I think I'm good. You know. Yeah.
I think, basically, I think we come from similar backgrounds, and I think the way that we are brought up is probably similar in a way,
Yes.
so
Mhm.
we can relate to each other's
Yeah.
problems, and we can also give out our opinions, which, maybe in some cases we don't see that perspective, and another person voices it out, and we can finally realize. And I think it's very
Yeah.
healthy for us individuals to realize that.
Yeah, we're not the only one.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
the only ones. Because before this, I thought I was the only one that experienced that, but it turns out I'm not the only one. There's you and there's Kavi here as well.
Mhm.
So I think it's the world's a truly special place, and for situations like this. So moving on to unfortunately the last
Okay.
question for this last topic for this podcast, and it is more appropriate to you, Kapijan. And the question is, as a counselor and as a person that holds many knowledge about this topic, what have you learned so far about tough love relationship with parents? Is there any other experiences that you would like to share in general, or maybe you can sum it up?
Okay, actually, I want to sum up what we have discussed here. Well, again, when our parents try to evoke this tough relationship with us, tough love relationship with us, or they seem to be harsh to us, but then we need to see beyond that. Sometimes it is the way they teach us to be a better person. And again, not as only a student, yeah, as a human being, we should not be always that person who be pampered by our parent. We need to learn to fall. We need to learn. We need to learn to fail. We need to learn how to solve that problem in our creative way, and we need to explore this kind of situation: sadness, anxiety, feeling blue, happiness, and every emotion that that exists. We need to experience that in order to what, in order to be resilient and to be in the better person and to be independent.
Yes.
By the end of the day, there will not, our parent will not always be there for us. So yeah, we need to care ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to be mature.
Yeah, I think we have to
Yeah.
really cherish that moment and
Right.
take it for granted, I guess.
And one more thing, sometimes our lecturer here in Binus evoke this tough love relationship with us, with the students. It doesn't mean that this lecturer want you to fail. Now, it is something that you need to learn. It's a learning curve for you. You need to understand this. You need to know that it is the consequences of what you have done. You didn't submit, so you will fail. You didn't do your assignment, so I will not be able to grade you. Yeah. Well, lecturers in a way is a parents, right?
Yeah. That's a really good point, actually. Well, is there anything you'd like to add?
I think for me, I think that's all.
That's
for
all?
me, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point that you brought up, because actually I just realized that that's actually true, and it made me realize to many dynamics and many characteristics of people, no matter their background or culture or their age and etc. And yeah, I think this podcast has been very insightful.
Yes.
Right.
Hey guys, we're sorry for the technical difficulties. This has been Fergus Waladuri. I am a head announcer for Brainwave Media.
Nawantra first career Undra, I'm also an announcer.
And thank you for joining us for this Buzzin Bunch. It has been a very insightful discussion with Kafijar. And make sure to check us out on socials, on Instagram and TikTok. That is at brainwave.media. And we'll see you around on the next episode.